Right. Before we start demerit goods, I just wanted to say, I am going to say in this video, you can use other videos to watch the explanation of the diagram, but I eventually do go through it, so you know, if you stick with us, that's alright. I do waffle on a bit, but enjoy. Right, hello and welcome. Yes, again, we're doing another video on F581. We're slowly getting through it. We've done the main parts of F581. Obviously we still need to look at the other side. This is still part A of the course, if you think of it that way. So we're still doing market failure, kind of markets in action kind of stuff. Whereas the other one we'll still talk about markets in action, except we'll be talking about like elasticities, etc. for the price determination, demand and supply diagrams for the other part of the course. But for this part, we're focusing in on sort of externalities, demerit goods, and public goods even. So the first thing we're going to do in this one is we're going to be doing about demerit goods. You go, well, what are demerit goods? Well, demerit goods are goods which are socially undesirable for us, and that's because they are worse for us as a consumer than we realise. Sorry, that's a good funny. So this means we underestimate the true social cost. Oh, yes. Sorry. So we underestimate the true social costs of them, and this could be because of information. Yeah, sorry. This is because of information failure. Now, you could go, right, well, what's information failure? Sorry, I'll just, actually, I won't write the whole definition, I'll just put socially undesirable. Right. So, how can information failure occur? Well, information failure can occur in a number of ways. One of the main ways it can occur is that we don't get any information at all. So this could be information about the external costs of it. Another way information failure can occur is that we know it, and we know the effects, and we ignore the information. Or we get the information, but we don't understand it. Don't understand. The information. Now, I'm going to assume that you don't really want me to go through demerit goods. So, I know I'm doing the topic on it, but no, I mean, like, in the sense that you don't want me to go through the diagram and explain it. I'm going to draw a diagram just to give you the information of sort of guidance of what it would look like. But I'm not going to explain it to such an extent, because I think the better way to explain it is through negative externalities. But there are other videos online that may help you look at different ways. But I'm just going to save you time and my time, personally, because I'm lazy. I'm just going to assume that you don't really want me to go through it, because it's easier for me. Obviously, that's the reason why. So, I personally think it's less confusing doing it negative externality way, because you don't need to learn anything new. And if you're running up to the exam, you'd have to worry about drawing two diagrams and mixing the explanations up, mixing a straight line up. It's going to be hard for me. Right. So that should be a standard supply diagram. Supply? Yeah. So this is demerit goods. So we are over consuming them, so our level of demand is too high. So we're going to be at the high level of demand, D2. Should we call it D2? It doesn't matter what you call it as long as you get the explanation right for it, but as I said, this is pretty pointless to be honest for most people because I'm not going to be explaining this way. So D1, D2. So this is what we're on, because they are socially undesirable, so we're over consuming them, so we're on the incorrect level of demand. And D is the correct level. Demand. Just give me a minute and I'll put the rules on. E1. And be smaller letters because it's a microeconomy. Sorry, just drawing this out for you. So that is the basic diagram, see if I've missed anything off there. Yeah, so they're overproduced in a free market, and as I said, the problem is that there's information failure in the market, and the government aren't intervening at this stage. So how can we intervene to solve these issues, if you like? Well, the government can intervene in a number of ways. I'm not going to go through it. I'll draw the diagram. Hopefully you've got that. I'm just going to rub it off so I can draw the tax diagram of it. Right. So, as I said, I prefer to go through it in terms of the negative externalities and just change paragraph 3 of explaining the diagram about when you're talking about the decisions of the decision maker and they are ignoring or unaware. You change it to information failure. That's all you need to do. For the rest of don't check anything else to the explanation. So I prefer doing that, whereas relearning the whole diagram is a bit of a... I'm not a big fan of learning the whole diagram for something that you can just change the words for another one. So, yeah. So, the original supply curve, I'm just going to move it to the right. We shouldn't think of it like that, but just so I can give myself a bit more room. That's S1. Sorry, just give me a second. I've just called this D1. D. This is our original thing where supply equals demand. Q. No, I'm not going to redraw the labels because hopefully you can work out what the labels are. Or if you can't, I'll redraw them in a minute anyway. But I'm just going to focus on redrawing the diagram first because I'm lazy. So yeah, that's the use label equilibrium E. Yeah, so that's the perfect. That's not where we start actually. That's not where we start, but that'd be the perfect ideal equilibrium. However, as this is the incorrect level of demand, we actually end up at here, P1. This is Q. Oh yeah, so it changes. Sorry, that's P1 and Q1. That's where we are. That's where the socially optimum output is, and we want to be here. But obviously we're not going to be, because this is the correct level of demand, and we're on the incorrect. Anyway, shifting a demand curve is to change one of the determinants of demand, which is the number of substitutes, the number of complements, population size, that sort of stuff. But obviously it's quite hard to do them things. So why have you drawn that extra supply? Well, as we know, increase in tax increases the cost of production for a firm, and if you increase the cost of production, that's one determinant of supply, so it hence shift the supply curve leftwards. If you increase tax, because their production costs increase, so they should push it onto the consumer in the form of a high price, P2, and this results in a contraction of demand from Q to Q1, and then you get the socially optimum output level, even though you're not actually operating there. E1, E2. So you end up at E2, and I've not explained that very well, but I'm just trying to get through it a bit quickly. So if you don't get that again, you're watching someone else's video. But if you prefer learning a diagrammatic way of demerit goods in the correct sense, I suggest you watch someone else's. But if you're happy with that, just use your demand and supply basic skills to explain that. Sorry, let me just I'll just try and go through it actually with you. Give me a moment. Probably should have been more prepared than this, but what are you gonna do? Right, come on. There we are, got it. Don't worry guys, I know you were crying for a second there. You thought you'd get away with economics, but you didn't. Don't worry, I've got the sheet. Okay, so yeah, so what you do is you state the supply curve is shifted. So I'm just going through it on the sheet so I don't miss out anything. You state the supply curve is shifted from S to S1. Subsequently, there is a increase in the price from P to P2. There's been a decrease in quantity demanded from Q to Q1. There's also been a contraction in demand from E to E2. There has been, however, the overall effect of this is dependent on the magnitude of the increase in tax. So I'll just go over that again without the sheet. So, the supply curve shifted from S to S1. This has resulted in an increase in price from P to P2. Quantity demand has fallen from Q to Q1. Demand has decreased from E to E2, sort of thing. There's been a contraction in demand. Yeah, Q to Q1, yeah, needs to do E to E2 thing. And obviously the magnitude of this depending on the magnitude of the increase in tax. So hopefully you've got that. If I haven't gone over that, well I'm sorry, but watch someone else's video. And see you later guys. Pen. Sorry, I just forgot to add that for demerit goods, tax is not the only way of solving it. You can solve it through information provision, so informing people how bad it is, obviously, but they could ignore that. And obviously it would be quite an expense to you, and the government you wouldn't know if it was actually effective, or people were just deciding just to choose it, or it was because of that. Or you could use regulation. All would, I don't know why I'm looking at a whiteboard here, all would present themselves in this sort of diagram. You can see the shift over there, and if you can't, well, that's your fault. Yeah, so So you could either use regulation, tax, or information provision, but you use the demand and supply diagram which we talked about. Or you could use negative externalities. I prefer to use that, but you know, that's up to you.